What's going on, guys? Corey from Yota Expedition, and right here we have the auxiliary power brackets for the 5th gen 4Runner. So when it comes to the brackets, we have two different styles. One being universal, it has no holes on it, you can lay it out however you would like, depending on what you are trying to put on it. It has our logo cut into it, and then our other one is going to be laid out perfectly for our Yota X auxiliary power kit, and these both fit the 4Runner 5th gen perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to get this installed. If you have a 20 to 23 model, you are going to have to do some modifications to the fuse box bracket and relocate that, but I'm going to show you how to do that as well. All right, so here is the fuse box that I was talking about. If you have a 20 to 23 model 4Runner, I have some old footage of me modifying this bracket, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. If you don't have a 20 to 23 model 4Runner, you can go ahead and skip this part. So on the 2020 and newer models, you're going to find we have a small fuse box right here located behind our bigger fuse box in the engine bay. There's going to be two bolts holding that on. We're going to be removing those. And once we have those bolts removed, you're going to find on the fuse box there is two little tabs that you're going to be pressing down, one on each side, and that's going to remove the fuse box from the bracket itself. And we're going to take that apart so we can modify our bracket. You can see right here there's a tab, push that down, there's one on both sides, and then you could pull the bracket off from the fuse box. All right, so when it comes to modifying this, what we're going to be doing is cutting off this little locating tab here. You can either cut it off or you can bend it so that it is flat. And then that's pretty much all you need to do to the bracket. You can bend this straight. See how this is angled out? If you were to bend this so that it was completely flat, it would fit a little bit better back in the tight spot there, but you don't have to do that. The only other thing that we need to remove is this clip here for your wiring harness. That is going to prevent the fuse box from going back far enough, so you do have to remove that as well. And to get that disconnected from your wiring harness, I'm just taking a stubby flathead and I'm putting it in the back here where the clamp connects, and I'm pushing at the same time pulling out, and you can see that's now disconnected. And we're going to go ahead and remove that completely from the fender well here. Just wiggle it back and forth and pull it out. Moving back to the bracket, like I said, if you want, you can just grab this tab and bend it so that it is flat. If you want, you could cut that off. But that's really all you need to do to that in order to get it to fit back here. And then we're going to be putting our bolt right there in the threaded hole, the one all the way in the back, right underneath your hood strut. You're only going to be using that bolt. You're not going to be using the bolt on the bottom anymore. But that'll be plenty to hold the fuse box where it needs to be. So here's the fuse box installed. You can see it is a bit tight, like I mentioned, but if we do bend the bracket here so that it is straight, it'll bring it closer to the fender, and then you'll have more room over here in between your other wiring. And here we are with the bracket now bent straight. You can see we have a little bit more room here between this plug and our fuse box. Fits a little bit nicer. All right, so we got the fuse box bracket modified, and we moved the fuse box back here to its new location if you have a 20 to 23 model 4Runner. Now we're going to go ahead and install the universal bracket. So that's going to be going here in this orientation. We're going to be putting two bolts through here into the side of the fender, and then you're going to have a one carriage bolt that goes through the wheel well, and we're going to be tightening that from underneath here. So when we designed this bracket, we designed it so that this was bent up so that you can easily access the bolts. Some of the competitors that we looked at, they had this bent the opposite direction. So you had to somehow get your hand down underneath here to get the bolts tight, and it was not easy at all. So when we designed ours, we did it the opposite way. So now these are easily accessible. So we'll go ahead and get these snugged up. We're going to get the carriage bolt started, and then we'll go ahead and tighten everything down. So from the driver's side wheel well, in this hole right here, you can see the bracket is right there, the slot that we have made, and that's where our carriage bolt is going to be going. So we're going to take the carriage bolt, we're going to go in from the back side, and we're going to go ahead and slip it through the hole. And the point of the carriage bolt is so that we don't have to be holding the other side with a socket or a wrench. You can just do everything right here with one hand, and it makes it pretty easy. So we're going to go ahead with a 10 millimeter. We're going to get this thing tightened up, and then we'll go ahead and tighten the two bolts at the top. All right, we got the bottom carriage bolt tightened up. Now at the top, you can see we have some movement back and forth, so just position this where you want it, get it level, whatever. And then these are going to be a 13 millimeter, so we're going to go ahead and tighten both of these up. So that's pretty much it. The bracket is now installed. Obviously, you want to go ahead and drill all your holes and whatnot for whatever you're mounting on here first before you go ahead and mount this into your 4Runner. But I just wanted to show you how to get it mounted and how it looks and how it fits.